So let's bring into the conversation the director of the White House National Economic Council, Brian Deese. Brian, good morning. You have said, the White House has said, we're not here to negotiate over the debt ceiling. Just raise the thing like you're supposed to do, and we can negotiate budgets at another time. Is that your position this morning? Is there anything Kevin McCarthy could say that would get you to a negotiating table?
Look, the president's not been going to negotiate around the full faith and credit of the United States, and for a lot of the reasons that Stephanie just outlined. This is not about new spending. This is not about new initiatives. This is about the United States meeting its bedrock commitments as a country and as a nation. And the United States commitment that we honor our obligations is the bedrock of stability in our economy and, frankly, undergirds stability in the global economy as well. It's not a conversation we should even be having, because even the prospect that you would put the full faith and credit of the United States government on the negotiating table could do real damage to our economy. We've seen this in past instances, and we don't want to do that as well, because, look, we're making an extraordinary amount of economic progress right now. We just saw unemployment claims come out this morning, lowest in decades. The unemployment rate is the lowest in 50 years. The number of people with health insurance is the highest that it's ever been in this country. Inflation is coming down. Real wages are going up. We're making progress. We need to keep that economic progress going and not have the specter of doing something unthinkable, of actually defaulting or the United States not honoring those obligations get in the way of this economic progress.
So, Brian, even as you're talking, we're looking at some red numbers early here on Wall Street. What do you say to reassure markets? What do you say to reassure Americans that you're going to find a way out of this, that Republicans somehow will come to an agreement to raise the debt ceiling, and there will not be this potential sort of crisis and catastrophe that Stephanie just laid out?
Yeah, I'd say three things. Look, first, this has happened time and time again. You put the graphic up earlier. Since 1960, Congress has acted 78 times with Republicans in the White House, with Democrats in the White House, to honor our basic obligation. Second, and as Stephanie noted, there are scores of reasonable Republicans and Democrats who understand the stakes here, who understand the consequence, and who understand that when it comes to the full faith and credit of the United States, we have to be serious and we have to be responsible. And the third is that economic progress that we are making should help middle-class families, businesses that are thinking about investing, make this period of time, even as we face a very uncertain global economic environment, make the United States relatively well-positioned to keep that progress going. For all those reasons, I think we will, as a country, meet our obligations. We always have. That's what we need to do this year as well, and that's where our position is going to stay.
Brian, if we don't, it will be because a group of Republicans won't come to the table and agree to raise this debt limit. And everyone at this table will know who's to blame, but the average American might not. Is the White House prepared for that reputational blow if suddenly we end up in an economically disastrous situation and people say, oh, well, who's in the White House? It's Joe Biden.
Well, look, we've made extraordinary progress over the last 2 years with Joe Biden in the White House. This week is the 2-year anniversary of when Joe Biden, president-elect at the time, spoke to the nation and outlined an economic strategy to not only beat the pandemic crisis, but recover stronger as a nation. Since that period, we've seen the strongest period of job growth, unemployment down to a 50-year low, inflation is coming down, real wages are going up. We're making progress in this economy, and in no small part because Joe Biden has worked with Democrats and Republicans to move an economic agenda that is making the United States a place where businesses want to invest, where they want to create jobs, where they want to center their economic activity for the long term. That's the story of what of the progress we've made over the last 2 years. That's the story we're going to stay focused on. We're going to stay focused on implementing that historic legislation, making sure companies are investing here, and making clear that, like Congresses in the past, this Congress has a basic set of obligations, and none more fundamental than maintaining the full faith and credit of the United States. And nobody should be putting on the table and even suggesting that that is up for debate or up for negotiation. We're going to continue to make that clear. I think that this president has been clear that economic stability, recovery, and working on behalf of the American people is where he is. and that there is an extreme element that wants to pursue chaos, but we're going to work to overcome that and work to build on these economic gains. And I think and I hope that will increasingly be clear to the American people as well.
All right, Director of the White House National Economic Council, Brian Deese, thank you very much.